I've always been different, and not in a good way. I possess a cursed gift, the ability to see the unseeable. You might think that sounds amazing, but trust me, it's a nightmare. One fateful night, as I sat alone in my dimly lit apartment, I felt that familiar sensation creep over me. My vision blurred, and I was thrust into a world that existed just ahead of time. In this spectral realm, I could see the souls of the departed, and the battle waged for them between angels and demons. Tonight, something was different. The battlefield was awash with crimson hues and eerie shadows. The souls of the dying flickered like fragile candles in the dark. Desperation hung heavy in the air, and it sent shivers down my spine. I watched helplessly as demons with twisted, grotesque forms clawed their way towards a particularly innocent soul. A young boy, no older than 10, lay injured in a car wreck, crushed under the weight of the mangled vehicle. His eyes were wide with terror and pain as the life drained from his body. The demons drew nearer, their pointed teeth dripping with saliva, eager to claim their prize. One of them, a hulking beast with horns and a spiked tail, grabbed the boy's leg and started to drag him towards the pits of hell. The child screamed and cried, begging for help, but none came. I couldn't just sit there and watch. I had to intervene. My heart raced as I gathered every ounce of courage. I reached out to the boy's soul, trying to pull it away from the clutches of the demonic horde. But my efforts were futile. My touch passed right through the spectral battlefield. Suddenly, one of the demons turned its grotesque head toward me. Its eyes, black as the void, locked onto mine. They bore into my very soul with a malevolent hunger. Panic coursed through me as I realized it could see me. It pointed a gnarled finger, and the others followed suit, their mouths dripping with anticipation. I was exposed. The demons closed in, their claws outstretched. Some crawled on all fours like feral beasts, while others lurched towards me. Their malevolent laughter echoed in my ears. "You, mortal!" one of them hissed, its rotten breath assaulting my senses. "You can see us, can't you? We have a proposition for you." I shuddered, trapped between the forces of darkness and my own helplessness. What could these vile creatures possibly want from me? "What do you want?" I stammered. "We need your sight," the demon replied, its lips curling into a sadistic grin. "You can see the souls. You can help us claim them. Join us, and we will grant you power beyond your wildest dreams." I was tempted for a moment, but something deep within me recoiled at the thought. These were vile creatures that tortured innocent souls. How could I even consider aligning with them? In my desperation, I turned to the heavens and whispered, "Angels, if you're out there, help me." In an instant, my surroundings transformed. I was now bathed in a soft, celestial light, and a group of radiant beings, with wings of pure white, stood before me. They looked at me with compassion, their halos shining brightly. "We heard your plea," one of the angels said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "We can help you, but you must pledge yourself to the light and forsake all darkness." Relief washed over me. "Yes, anything. Just save me from those demons." The angel smiled and held out her hand. I reached for it eagerly, ready to be pulled from the abyss. But just before our hands touched, her face contorted into a twisted grin. I gasped and stumbled back as the angel's forms morphed into horrific creatures with reptilian skin and giant, bat-like wings. Their halos melted away, revealing gnarled horns atop their heads. These were no angels of light, but deceivers that had tricked me. The creatures cackled with delight at my shock. "Foolish mortal," one of them snarled. "Did you really think we were here to save you? We need your sight to harvest more souls for our master." My blood ran cold. I turned to run, but found myself surrounded by more of these vile beings. One of them grabbed me, its claws digging into my arms. I cried out in pain and fear. "You will serve us and provide us the visions we require," it hissed in my ear. "You now belong to us." I shook my head desperately, but I was no match for their strength. They dragged me down into the shadowy depths as I screamed for someone, anyone to save me. But my pleas went unanswered in that dark abyss. I do not know how long I was held captive in that netherworld. Time seemed to stand still. The creatures who I learned were followers of a god known as Haniel, the god of hungers, used my powers to further their evil aims. And in turn, I was granted a fragment of terrible power. My visions became more vivid, and I could even influence the souls I saw, manipulate their fates. But each time I gave in, I felt a piece of my own soul wither away. I was losing myself, being warped into another servant of the dark god. My humanity slipped further with each passing day, until one day, I discovered something that reignited my defiant spark. While scanning the spectral realm, I caught sight of a familiar face, the young boy from the car accident who had perished that fateful night. His soul had been spared from the demons, but I could see Haniel's followers closing in, intent on claiming the child for their master. At that moment, I remembered who I was. I reached deep within myself and summoned every last bit of courage. As the creatures converged, I put myself between them and the boy, determined to protect his soul, or die trying. A blinding light suddenly erupted from within me, driving back the servants of Haniel. I felt a presence at my side, and turned to see the glowing form of the child's guardian angel, its wings spread wide. It gazed upon me with gratitude for saving its charge. In that moment, I knew I was ready to reject the dark path I had been forced down. I severed my connection to that unholy god, renouncing the cursed power I had been granted. The creatures howled in rage, but could not reach me, for I had stepped fully into the light. I was changed after that experience. My visions remained, but I was now their master, not their slave. I walked the line between worlds, guided by the light within my soul. Though darkness still crosses my sight, I now have the strength to resist its call, to see beyond the shadows and into the truth that lies within each human heart.